Right, welcome back. Hopefully, welcome back again. If you're following up from the last video. Now, again to say, fuck, man, I can always get like some gassy shit built up in my fucking chest. I can never fucking talk properly. Anyways, again, digging through my comments, one comment led to another video, another comment leads to this video now. Now, this is something I've mentioned a couple times with people in videos, but I never, I don't know why the fuck I never thought about making a video specifically based on this. And I even went and double checked my old shit to make sure I didn't, and it seems like I haven't. So, now it's time to make a video. And this particular guy asking is Mr. Sean Goodwin. I'm pretty sure you've actually posted this same comment, or maybe not exactly worded the same, but something similar to this on an earlier video. And you're hitting me again because I guess the answer I gave you the first time wasn't good enough for you. So now I did talk to you there, and now I'm going to talk to you again. Hopefully everything between the conversation now and this video clarifies for you a little bit more about what I was saying. Now, Sean Goodwin writes here, I have an H22A4 with Skunk 2 Pro 1 cams, Skunk 2 Pro XP valve springs, Skunk 2 Alpha standard comp valves and retainers. Now, first off, I want to remind you guys in here that those the upgraded titanium valve springs, retainers, all that bullshit, that in itself is not a mod that gives you power. It's just it's stronger shit to be able to compensate for the more aggressive forces being put on it by an aftermarket camshaft. So that's just a support mod for the cam. So you pretty much erase that part of your fucking description. Skunk 2 Pro 1 cams, and then Skunk 2 Alpha or Skunk 2 intake manifold, and a 70mm throttle body. Now, a 70mm throttle body in itself isn't going to do a lot of upgrades. I mean, a bigger throttle body is not really going to. It'll add benefits to a point, and then after that, you're just kind of like, it's just there unless you're throwing boost at it and shit. AEM V2 intake. Okay, as far as I'm sorry, I know this is kind of choppy here. I'll run through it one more time quick. Skunk 2 Pro 1 cams, the valve train upgrade, Skunk 2 intake manifold, 70mm throttle body, AEM V2 intake, Buddy Club Pro Spec exhaust, DC header. And it says UR crank pulley, so lightweight crank pulley. Again, the lightweight crank pulley in itself does not make power. And it's chipped and tuned, and I made 177 horsepower, and it's in caps. Why? All right. So first off, I guess to answer that question directly first, and I did answer this already, saying that the problem here is in the tune. Yes, you should have made more than 177 horsepower, because 177 horsepower is what that engine should make stock. Because their Honda rates H22A4 about 197 horsepower, so 106, low 170s, mid 170s is what I would expect the wheel horsepower range to be about once you put it on a dyno. So how do you throw, bolt-ons and cams and get fucking stock horsepower? Again, it has to be the tune. Now, when I said tune, your answer was, before tuning, it was making 143 horsepower. And now, I will address that one. If you guys take bolt-ons and shit and you throw it at your fucking build, or if you throw turbo at your build, or your engine, or let's say you put aftermarket pistons or whatnot, it's almost a guaranteed fact. Yeah, you're gonna be, especially if you're talking boost, you're gonna make less horsepower. Not only are you gonna make less horsepower than you think, but you're gonna make way less horsepower than what you would if it was stock. And this is something I have mentioned before, but again, never made a video on. If you throw fucking shit at your engine that's gonna affect your air fuel ratios and all that shit, your stock ECU is trying to put the volumes for what it is expecting and what it's pre-programmed to do. So when you're changing compression and you're changing the volume of flow of air through your engine, it's not doing that correctly, and you're gonna end up with a fucking hot pile of shit, and that's guaranteed. Fucking when I left El Paso, my B16, it was making 420 horsepower. I drove it to Miami. I kind of felt like I was underpowered. I didn't really think about it too long. About 6 or 7 months into me being in Florida and daily driving the car and not feeling like it's supposed to, I finally said, let me take it to a dyno and see how much power I've lost. I strapped it to the dyno. I was down to about 140 something horsepower. No, I'm lying. It wasn't 140. It was 180. Ridiculous. Like I was running ridiculously low powered. So and that's just an elevation change is the reason why that happened. I'm just going from 4,500 feet above sea level to sea level, and nothing was changed in the tune or modified in my setup. The only thing that changed was elevation, and that's just 400 to 180. That's a massive horsepower drop. And then vice versa too, compared to when I finished building my sedan and I had my B20V strapped to the dyno. The first couple pulls I made like 135 horsepower baseline pull boosted. So you're not going to really pull the potential out of your engine and all your modifications unless you fucking tune it. Now, I know that you hear about certain bolt-ons where they're like, well, if you just bolt this on, you gain like 5 horsepower or whatnot. There are some things that you can do like that that'll increase that, and I think it's more of an exhaust type side deal, maybe an intake that you can throw on that'll add a little bit of horsepower. But anytime you're going to do any kind of like heavy modifications to the engine, like cams or pistons, you're going to run into that problem where you're going to drop it in power until it's tuned. So he's like, I made 143 horsepower and I was tuned up to 177. And you got in quotation marks here, aren't pulling enough vacuum. And then what my answer was to that was like, you have a tuner who sees a problem while he's trying to tune. And it seems to me like he can't exactly figure out or pinpoint what the problem is. He can't solve it with this tune, so he's just giving a generic answer, and because he doesn't know. Now, it's sometimes it can be hard. I've spent an entire day. I spent like 10-hour session, on the fucking dyno, trying to lock down a problem when you think that everything was like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Why am I not building power? But 100% for sure, there's a problem somewhere in the setup. Now, if you know, like for sure, 100%, like that your engine, everything is fucking solid, and you're coming up on short numbers, just based off of what you may know or what you may see from other people, then it is the tuner himself. He's either being super reservative because he doesn't want to fuck your shit up, or he just half-assing it. I've had a half-assed tune before. I had before I made the 400 on that B16, I was making low 300s, and it was just because the guy made like 3 or 4 pulls and was like, oh, you're tuned and that's it. He just didn't want to go in to take the extensive work needed to pull maximum power out, and I suffered for that. I paid money and came up with something subpar. So that's another thing to really make sure you communicate well with your tuner. And I really want the most out of this, and not just that, but you need to talk to, find out who's tuned a lot of Hondas in your area and whatnot, and find somebody who's reliable and safe, somebody you can communicate with, somebody who's not going to be like, I'm above you, so I'm not going to talk to you because you don't know what you're talking about, to really communicate what you want out of your shit. Now, in this particular situation where 177 horsepower that's the end result, and if the guy was truly trying to push it and the guy really knows his shit, then that means you ran into a problem somewhere that he couldn't fix while tuning. And that's happened to me before too, where I had an issue that, my turbo blew up on that B20V. The turbo went out and there was nothing it could be done about it. We'd already spent so many hours trying to fix fuel problems and all this shit. We had that taken care of, and then it turned out to be the turbo went because the feed line popped. And when the feed line popped, it, caused the turbo to fail. So, I hope, Sean, that this clarifies exactly what it was I was talking to you about. So that way you mean when I say that it's a problem in the tune. If it's not a problem in the tune, then it's a problem in your setup, and you need to find what's causing the issue that's holding him up from being able to maximize power. Now, I will leave another card here for the other video I just did, about truly how you should build your engine starting from the block before going to the head. But yes, I do agree at the same time too that you should be making more horsepower than 177 horsepower. But with that being said as well, once you figure out what the fuck ever is holding you back, I still wouldn't be surprised if you didn't make more than 225. just because the fact that Skunk 2, the Pro 1 cams, you went with like a stage 1 cam. Then at the very bottom, we had some guy poke in as Mr. Ryan. He goes, Skunk 2 cams, instead of Skunk 2 cams, go with Type S cams, way better. I wouldn't say that the Type S cams are way better, but they are a better option for your pocket, and they are a good option overall. As if I had to choose between the Skunk 2 cams and the Type S, I would definitely choose the Type S because you'll get similar results in power, and you don't have to upgrade your valve train. So anyway, I hope that kind of clarifies something on the tuning side of these things, guys. When you run into problems with power and all that shit, and just also to be a little bit more aware of what you're doing when you're throwing bolt-ons at your car. If you don't plan on tuning, then I really wouldn't fuck with your shit unless you're just trying to make more noise. And hold on a second, guys. Sorry, you see, it's got all dark here. Anyway, so unless you're deliberately just trying to make noise, just be careful of what you're going to throw at your car unless you plan on getting tuned after. And if you really want to make the most power, save your stuff on the side, and when you have everything, put it all together. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This past 24 hours, saw 4 uploads. So I hope that kind of makes up for my 2 weeks being gone here. Even if you guys don't all see it in the same day. As a follow-up real quick on the H22 playlist and year series, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm actually really disappointed in the outcome of that H22 video. And I know that I've been talking H22 for a while, and a lot of those videos got like 400 or 500 views. But the G23 video skyrocketed and the H22 video lagged. And I know that the G still kind of falls in that same territory with the H because it's technically a Frankenstein H. But with everybody asking H22, 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 and especially NA H22, I got a lot of questions about that and not a lot of viewership. It kind of makes me second guess myself about making a video for H23, making a video for F22B, making it for the F20B, all this shit that you guys are asking to see. It's a lot of, I could potentially see another hour or so worth of footage if it's not going to go anywhere. Now, I'm not saying I'm never going to make it again, but now I'm kind of less inclined to be pushing myself to make H-specific videos when I know that they might not get a lot of viewership anyway. I think I'll just trickle down. So I gotta take a time out here, and I'm gonna really think about what the next upload is gonna be. And who knows? Maybe you guys will follow up with questions on these 2 videos, and I'll get something else. Anyway, guys, keep in touch on Facebook, or keep in touch with Facebook to see what the fuck is coming. Whenever I decide what it's gonna be, I'll update it there. Also, if you guys want a more personal following with me, follow me on Snapchat. Everybody who adds me, I add them back. And I do tend to poke around when I'm bored and watch y'all's shit. Car stuff. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and peace. I'll see y'all later.